Where am I? Is this heaven?
No, it isn't heaven.
Is it hell?
Actually, there is no hell. Although I hear Los Angeles is getting pretty close.
Please, lecture time! It's lecture time! Why don't you just sit down and enjoy the lecture?
So, sit back and have fun.
Greetings, my friend.
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnic Vogon Jeffs, and in this video, I'm talking about the 1991 romantic fantasy comedy, Defending Your Life. It's an Albert Brooks film that feels like it was made in the mid-70s. It's a story about the afterlife. Kind of. Reincarnation, really. But more accurately, it's a story about facing your fears, confronting your fears. Fears.
Because he was afraid.
Dealing with fear.
Fears that have plagued him lifetime after lifetime.
I got over my fears.
I was afraid.
A little louder.
I was afraid.
Hey, did I mention this movie was about dealing with fear?
Fear's like a giant fog. It sits on your brain and blocks everything. Real feelings, true happiness, real joy.
Written and directed by Brooks, Defending Your Life stars Meryl Streep, Rip Torn, Lee Grant, Buck Henry, and of course, Albert Brooks. You know, it's been a while since we've checked out the online consensus. I really wonder how this one is holding up. Uh-oh, isn't that interesting?
Most people love it. Some it makes nauseous.
Well, geez. Okay, this is gonna get awkward. I'm not sure about this. I'm kind of worried about what people are gonna think about my take on this movie.
What did I say?
You said it's wonderful.
Well, it is.
I'm a little scared that people won't agree with me. No, damn it. I won't be controlled by my fear. I will not be emotionally manipulated by my trepidation. Which reminds me, did you know that this movie was about confronting your fears?
Is this what you thought it would be?
Thought what would be?
All right. Albert Brooks is Daniel Miller, an LA-based ad exec who likes to perform stand-up comedy every time his coworkers buy him a birthday present.
This is a great present, and I wish I could squeeze all of you into one pretty woman. And if you'd like to go to my office, I'll try.
It's his 39th birthday, and the moderately successful executive decides to buy himself a new car.
Look at it. It looks huge. It's beautiful.
That's not it. That's a 750. That's it.
Gee, try not to show the 750 first. My car looks like a turd now.
He gets distracted while driving through the city and winds up slamming into an oncoming bus. The next thing he knows, he's being wheeled through a building and ushered onto a tram in Judgment City, an afterlife holding area for the recently deceased. He's welcomed to the city and checked into the Continental, a local hotel where he'll be staying for the next 5 days. Meanwhile, Bob Diamond, a defense attorney, reviews Daniel's file and reaches out to the newly dead advertising executive.
You have any idea what's going on?
No?
Well, in a nutshell, you're here to defend your life, and I'm going to help you. Sound exciting?
Yeah, I guess.
It is, believe me.
Bob encourages Daniel to get some breakfast. It's not only the best food Daniel will ever have, but he can eat all he wants.
So pig out, eat 30 hot cakes. I'll see you at 11.
I can eat all I want?
Eat everything.
This is a recurring theme throughout the entire movie. Everyone always seems to be hungry, the food is always amazing, and the recently deceased are encouraged to eat as much as they like.
Fast and delicious. Eat all you want.
Daniel flips through the 5 TV stations available in the afterlife before heading down to the hotel restaurant for some breakfast. Oh, for the love of God. If this is the state of the afterlife, I want no part of it. Look at that kerning! Oh, we're gonna provide you with the best food you'll ever eat. We've figured out how to prevent you from gaining weight, but we couldn't be bothered to hire a competent graphic designer? What kind of creative hell is this? I mean, Jesus H. Christ, the spacing. Can we get someone who understands vertical justification, please? In a cruel culinary twist, Daniel only gets one bite of his omelet before he's whisked away to meet with Bob. The defense attorney explains the process. When you're born into this universe, you're in it for a long, long time. You have many different lifetimes, and after each lifetime, there's an examining period. You see, every second of every lifetime is always recorded, and as each one ends, they sort of look at it, look at a few of the days, examine it, and then if everyone agrees, you move forward. Forward to what? Who knows? It's never defined. The next chapter, the next phase of the afterlife.
So I'm on trial for being afraid.
First of all, I don't like to call it a trial. Second of all, yes.
All you need to know is that it's a process that revolves around facing your fears in order to become smarter.
The point of this whole thing is to keep getting smarter, to keep growing.
Oh boy. Okay, let's not drill into this too deeply. It doesn't really make sense or matter all that much. It's just a flimsy pretense to address the theme of fear and how it holds us back.
Well, everybody on Earth deals with fear. That's what little brains do.
Daniel is going to be judged, and if he's deemed worthy, he'll move on to that next phase.
Well, what if I'm guilty? What happens to me?
Worst comes to worst, you'll go back to Earth and you'll try it again.
Daniel and Bob go out for lunch and mow down on an endless buffet of exposition.
Tell me about your life. You feel you had any problems?
Well, sure, I had some problems.
Did you give a lot to charity?
What do you mean a lot? Well, I mean, I'm sure I could have given more. I gave a lot to people on the street, but you never get a receipt.
And later that night, Daniel heads out to the bomb shelter, a comedy club where, oh Jesus, okay, seriously? Who is designing stuff in the afterlife? Whoever it is, I am going to kill them. Daniel heads to the bomb shelter and meets Julia. She is inexplicably attracted to Daniel, and I don't mean that in some flippant way. I mean it literally. I could not explain the attraction because at no point does the movie try to explain it. You could make an argument that it's because he's funny, but that's being incredibly generous.
Hi, how'd you die?
On stage, like you.
The movie barely spends enough time establishing that that might be the case. It more or less just says Julia really likes him and the reason isn't important, so just go with it. They duck out of the comedy club and go for an evening stroll. They chat for a bit before Daniel walks Julia back to her hotel, which is significantly nicer than the Continental.
This is your hotel?
Yeah. Where are you staying?
Obviously, the place for people who weren't very generous and didn't adopt anybody.
He tries to set up a date with her for the next day, but she's already got plans. The next day, at his hearing, Daniel is subjected to recordings from specific inflection points in his life.
They tell me it feels something like 3D.
Now, I'm going to speed run my way through this because it's basically just the same plot point over and over and over for the entire second act. As a kid, he was too scared to fight a school bully. Bob argues Daniel was showing restraint.
I think the little boy was quite dignified.
Restraint?
Yes, ma'am.
Unlike his abusive alcoholic father. Adolescent Daniel heroically helps a friend at school by sacrificing his art supplies, but immediately sells him out to avoid being punished when he's confronted by his father.
First of all, no television for a month.
Steve lost the paints.
Steve.
Yeah. Hey, punish him.
We take a short break from the trial so that Daniel can go out for sushi and meet a pornographer.
Spent a lot of money on adult books.
Selling them?
No, reading them is, of course, selling.
He heads back to his hotel and listens to a voicemail message from Julia, and then back to his judgment. For some reason, Bob is missing. Bob just doesn't show up to represent his client, and Daniel is assigned to Dick Stanley, another defense attorney. They get back at it, and we see an older Daniel pass on a Casio stock tip.
Your Honors, for the record, the Casio Corporation is one of the largest manufacturers of timepieces in the universe.
I know who they are.
Hey you! Yeah, you. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Maybe leave a comment for the algorithm. And if you're feeling generous, become a channel member and join the Maniac Army, because the world needs more maniacs. Dick doesn't do anything to support his client, and Daniel thinks he's being judged for not making a good financial decision. Lena Foster, the prosecutor, brings up the moment when Daniel took his job as an advertising executive.
Daniel, I'm prepared to offer you $49,000.
I'll take it.
She points out that he chickened out when taking the job, opting to accept a much lower salary than he had planned to take.
Obviously, this is all about money. Look, I'm guilty. I didn't make enough money, okay?
Daniel once again thinks he's being punished for not making enough money, but Lena sets him straight.
You keep thinking it's about money, but it's about fear.
Dick refuses to cross-examine on behalf of his client, and Lena submits a montage of moments for consideration.
At this time, I'd like to present a compilation of general misjudgments. Half of them fear-based, half of them just stupid.
It's 6 clips of Daniel being an idiot and 1 clip of him being scammed. Later, Daniel and Julia meet up and head over to the Past Lives Pavilion for a quick Shirley MacLaine cameo.
Welcome to the Past Lives Pavilion.
And, oh wait, hold on. Let me just check my notes here. Yeah, she's not dead. It's been 35 years since this movie was released, and she's still very much alive. Yet she's listed as Shirley MacLaine in the credits. She's playing herself. Now, maybe I'm being dense, maybe it's a generational thing, I don't know. I just don't get the joke. Are they saying that she's dead in this movie world? Are they just using some kind of afterlife AI to get celebrities to host tourist attractions? I don't get it. Oh no. It's not because... no, it couldn't be. Is it because she believes in reincarnation? Is that the joke? Good God. Okay, well, Daniel and Julia leave the Past Lives Pavilion to play a round of mini-putt and talk about how Julia died.
So I went outside, tripped over the chaise lounge, hit my head on the cement, and rolled into the pool.
What did the East German judge give you?
He walks her back to her hotel and they make plans for another date before making out. Ew. The next day, Bob returns as Daniel's defense attorney. Where exactly was he the other day?
I was trapped near the inner circle of thought.
Hilarious. All right, a memory involving stage fright and a memory of a snowmobile accident, and that's a wrap for Act 2. Yeah, that's everything that happened in Act 2.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Daniel leaves his hearing and heads over to Julia's tribunal to pick her up for their date. Everyone involved with her judgment case is smitten with her. She's courageous and kind, a great person.
It was like watching a Mutual of Omaha commercial.
You're just jealous.
You'll never know how much.
They visit an Italian restaurant and things are going great. That is, until his prosecutor shows up and sits down at a nearby table. Daniel gets uncomfortable and wants to leave.
No, you're being silly. I'm just eating.
Okay.
He's worried that Lena is going to judge him and use his behavior against him in court. So they finish their dinner and head back to Julia's hotel. It's the day before their final hearings, and Julia wants Daniel to stay with her for the night. He wants to as well, but chickens out.
I don't want to screw it up. Literally.
Well, how do you know what's gonna happen?
I don't.
They part ways, disappointed and sad. And on the way home, Daniel contemplates his stupid decision and tries to call Julia. Unfortunately, he doesn't know her last name, and is forced to leave a message for the two Julias staying at her hotel.
Tell them both that I love them more than life itself, and I've never met anybody like them, and I'll miss them forever and ever.
In a last-ditch attempt at defending his client, Bob introduces a moment from Daniel's adult life. Divorced from his wife, Daniel decides to take a trip to Hong Kong by himself, only to find out that he would have to sit between two people for the entire flight. In an act of pure courage, he decided to spend $3,000 on an upgrade to first class.
I'll take it.
You have got to be kidding me. I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but there's a running gag in this movie about the intelligence of the recently dead versus that of those who have moved on or evolved or whatever you want to call it. Humans use 3 to 5% of their brain.
3%? 3%?
When you use more than 5% of your brain, you don't want to be on Earth, believe me.
While folks like Bob and Lena and Dick use upwards of 45%. Something like that. Humans stupid, reincarnated angels smart. You get the idea. But if this guy is so goddamn smart, you'd think he'd be able to mount a better defense. Maybe upgrading to first class isn't exactly a great example of being fearless. Know what I mean? Suffice it to say, it doesn't do Daniel any favors. Lena comes in and spikes the ball by using Daniel's date with Julia from the previous night as evidence that he is still ruled by fear.
I have this wonderful feeling inside of me, but I'm just tired of being judged.
Daniel still hasn't grown. He hasn't overcome his fears and continues to make excuses. The hearing is adjourned and Bob takes Daniel back to his office, where they learn what all of us already know. Daniel isn't moving on to the next phase of the afterlife. He's going to be sent back to Earth to try again. Bob takes him down to the tram station and sends him off with a few words of advice.
Just take the opportunities when they come, okay?
Daniel boards his earthbound tram. As the shuttle prepares to depart, he hears his name being called.
Julia!
It's Julia! The trams take off, and Daniel fights to unbuckle himself and open the door. He jumps from his moving tram and... Okay, listen, you know what? I know this scene is supposed to be a representation of Daniel facing his fears. You know, he was hit by a bus, and now he has to Frogger his way through a field of trams to reach Julia. But I don't know, it feels a bit forced. It's okay, I guess. Maybe I'm being too critical. It's just a metaphor. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. It bookends the movie. It's doing more than most movies would have done. So, you know, Credit where credit is due, I guess. Daniel catches up with Julia's tram and tries to get on, but the doors won't open. Back at the Judgment Center, Bob, Lena, and the judges watch with approval and decide to let Daniel leave with Julia. They embrace as we get a surprisingly suggestive coital final shot of a tram entering a tunnel. The end. Fear is a hell of a drug. Nobody likes the feeling of fear. The adrenaline response that it can trigger? Sure, there are lots of folks who like that. But being afraid of something is an emotional state that virtually no one enjoys. And I suppose before we go any further, we should define what fear actually is. I'm sure most of us have a basic understanding, so I'll keep this brief. Fear is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger, whether real, anticipated, or imagined. It can be triggered by an immediate danger or by abstract concerns.
I even pissed in the punch bowl!
It is an underlying cause of, or at the very least tangentially connected to, feelings of anxiety and stress. When dealing with fear, our bodies experience something known as the fight, flight, or freeze response, which induces physiological changes that help us confront or escape danger, or immobilize us in the face of a threat. Behaviorally, fear can manifest in a multitude of ways. We learn to avoid things, we get angry or defensive, we become vigilant or suspicious.
What's the point, please?
I don't really see myself as a movie critic. I see myself as a writer, as an artist, and as a video producer who just so happens to produce videos about movies. And as such, one of the most effective tools in my creative arsenal is the ability to be honest in spite of my fears. I don't want to be hated for my opinions. I don't want to be ostracized because I enjoyed this movie but thought this movie was shit. I have feelings like everyone else. I'm a human being. I'm joking. I don't give a rat's ass about the approval of others when it comes to entertainment media. Hate me, ostracize me, friggin' eat me.
Say it! Say it!
I don't like defending your life. I know a lot of people do, I'm just not one of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike it either. I watched it once after it came out on VHS back in the day, and again for this video. My reaction was the same after both viewings. It's okay, it's fine.
I appreciate the attempt.
I didn't bust a gut watching it, but I also wasn't cursing at its existence when the credits rolled. As far as the story goes, I'm indifferent. I love Rip Torn, and I think Meryl Streep is an incredible performer. Albert Brooks is hit or miss for me, and I wouldn't say I was impressed with his role or his writing in this movie. I think most of his screenplays present narcissistic, frustratingly annoying paranoids at a level just shy of Woody Allen films.
Oh my God. So I'm the dunce of the universe.
And I am no fan of Woody Allen. Now, the anti-Semitic screwheads can go pound sand. Religion and race have nothing to do with it. It's because his movies are shit and he married his daughter.
What the hell is this?
If one of those things isn't enough reason to hate someone, and I think we all know which one of those things I'm talking about, then what is? I mean, seriously, I just cannot forgive bad filmmaking.
Oh!
I'm joking. Yeah, it's obviously the fact that he married his daughter.
Come on, you're looking at me like stunned sheep. Come on, folks.
And if you're sitting there getting ready to write a comment about how Soon Yi wasn't really his daughter because Woody never married Mia and he didn't adopt Soon Yi like he did Dylan and Moses, and hey, okay, listen, just shut the f up. It was creepy.
What the hell's going on here?
The whole goddamn thing was creepy, and every sane person on planet Earth knows it. Oh, and he was friends with Epstein, and they joked about eating human remains. But you really love Annie Hall or something, so you've got to die on the hill of Woody Allen being a good dude.
Wrap it up.
I'm through.
Anyway, yeah, defending your life feels like Woody Allen light. Caffeine-free Woody Allen. Sugar-free Woody. I think if you like the humor of Woody Allen movies, or if you're just a big Albert Brooks fan, you're probably gonna get a good chuckle out of this movie. Personally, it's not my jam. Some people like Jeff Dunham. Some people like Larry the Cable Guy.
I wouldn't want to hang out with any of them, but...
It's a personal preference. I'm a Sam Kinison guy. I'm an Andrew Dice Clay guy. Defending your life isn't my kind of humor.
No shit.
And to be honest, it's more thought-provoking than it is funny. The core concept was unique. Well, okay, the core concept was unique-ish. And there are a lot of ideas in the movie that would be interesting to explore. But we're presented with a 30-minute short film stretched out to over an hour and a half. It's structurally simple, to the point of feeling predictable and unimpressive, even a bit boring and monotonous. The plot is extremely thin and repetitive as all hell. And subtlety is apparently not a thing in the afterlife. This movie never misses an opportunity to remind the viewer that it is a story about facing your fears.
Do you want to stop here or
Face your fear.
I'll face the fear.
He's facing his fear. He's facing his fear.
However, as a concept, this would actually make for decent episodic content, like Love Boat for corporeal regret.
Love Boat.
Now, don't look at me like that. The Love Boat is a perfect reference. A bit dated, sure, but come on. Captain Steubing, Isaac the bartender. I mean, sure, I guess that's what The Good Place was going for, yeah? I never watched it, but my peripheral understanding of it would seem to support the theory. There are probably dozens of other TV shows that tackle similar subject matter. What I'm really trying to say here is that Defending Your Life is a romantic comedy that's light on romance and comedy, but has an interesting premise presented in the most inoffensive way possible. Now, one thing I'll say in its defense is that it promotes the idea of living your life to the fullest. I'm a sucker for stories that encourage humanity to be better by overcoming weakness. And if that's your thing too, you're probably going to, at the very least, enjoy this movie. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to watch Back to School and Ford Fairlane.
Booty time, across the USA.
See you next time.
That was life.